I'm the Chief Justice of California, and I serve as Chair of the Commission. And the members of the Commission on Judicial Appointments are Attorney General Rob Bonta, Presiding Justice J. Anthony Klein of the Court of Appeal, First Appellate District, Division 2, and Amoy Kim serves as Secretary to the Commission. We're also grateful to Jorge Navarrete, our Supreme Court Administrator, and the Judicial Council staff who made this technology available to all of us in these arrangements for the Commission hearing. This morning's hearing, this first one, is to consider Governor Gavin Newsom's appointment of Justice Alison M. Tucher to the office of Presiding Justice, First Appellate District, Division 3. We are in receipt of a letter from Governor Newsom appointing Justice Tucher to the vacancy created by the retirement of Presiding Justice Peter J. Siggins. The state constitution specifies that an appointment by the governor to the Court of Appeal is effective when confirmed by the Commission on Judicial Appointments. We received correspondence pertaining to this appointment, and we made these letters available to the press and to the public a few days ago. Pursuant to a request by Governor Newsom, the State Bar's Commission on Judicial Nominees Evaluation has undertaken an evaluation of the qualifications of Justice Tucher for this position. We will welcome Ms. Stella Nye, who is chair of the Jennie Commission, later today, this morning, to publicly announce the results of that evaluation, and she'll do so later. Justice Tucher has asked that the following two people testify on her behalf. I'll list them now, and we'll separately invite each to speak at the hearing. First is Ms. Karen Sununu Towery. She is a retired Chief Assistant District Attorney out of Santa Clara County and currently a volunteer with the Northern California Innocence Project. Also, we welcome the Honorable Therese Stewart, Associate Justice in the First Appellate District, Division 2. We welcome Ms. Sununu Towery to the virtual podium.
Thank you very much. Chief Justice Cantil Sakaue, Attorney General Bonta, and Presiding Justice Klein. Today, I'm honored to share with you a brief story about Justice Tucher, a story which demonstrates both her balanced approach to justice and her leadership skills. In the 1980s, Justice Tucher came of age in the Bay Area. And during that time, in what will become relevant in a minute, her mother, Carolyn Tucher, who served with distinction on the Palo Alto School Board, became close friends with Myrtle Walker, who was an extraordinary school board member in East Palo Alto and later mayor of that city. In 1991, a young Princeton graduate was brutally tortured and murdered in Cupertino. In short order, the Santa Clara Sheriff's Office arrested Myrtle Walker's son, Rick Walker, for that murder. Rick Walker claimed his innocence, but none in the system took him seriously. Myrtle Walker asked Allison at that time to look into the plight of her son. Miss Tucher was then a law student, and she visited incarcerated Rick Walker. But student Tucher was not yet equipped to help Mr. Walker prove his claim of innocence. 1993 to 1994, by the time law school graduate Tucher clerked at the U.S. Supreme Court, Mr. Walker had already been prosecuted by my office, the Santa Clara County DA's office. He had been convicted of murder in the first degree and given a life in prison sentence. In 1995, I met then Alison Tucher when she applied to be a deputy district attorney in Santa Clara County. I sat on the office hiring board that year and still remember two highlights of the interview. First, although she had clerked for Justice David Souter and had graduated Order of the Coif from Stanford Law School, the hiring panel was far more interested in her advanced engineering degree from Cambridge University and that she had been a member of the Treasury Department's White House Security Review Team. I believe we asked her something like, "Are you sure you want to join us and start out prosecuting petty crimes and drunk driving cases?" She was, and she did. For 3 years, Deputy District Attorney Tucher prosecuted serious criminal cases with great skill and energy. However, we lost her talent when in 1998 she joined the San Francisco law firm of Morrison and Foerster. And meanwhile, by 1999, Mr. Walker's appeals and writs had reached dead ends. However, while working at Morrison, lawyer Tucher started to work pro bono on Mr. Walker's innocence claim. She now had the skills for such a daunting undertaking. She studied the case with exacting precision, interviewed potential witnesses, and made numerous prison visits, including some while pregnant. And all this while managing her assigned caseload and ultimately making partner at MoFo. In 1999, she wrote a letter to the sitting district attorney of Santa Clara County about Mr. Walker's predicament. And I saved that letter. Quote, "I've just taken a criminal matter which coincidentally comes out of your office. My reason for writing today is to ask your cooperation in preserving physical evidence that should still be in custody of the investigating agency." This letter proved crucial to Rick Walker's quest for freedom. In February 2003, I was the newly appointed head of the homicide unit in the DA's office, and lawyer Tucher asked to meet with me in order to lay out her painstaking investigation of Mr. Walker's case. I knew before our meeting that she absolutely believed in Mr. Walker's innocence, but I stood skeptical that our office would have convicted an innocent man of murder. Of course, without the power of the government, lawyer Tucher had been unable to track down some witnesses, conduct forensic tests, or find exculpatory evidence that the sheriff withheld. Nonetheless, her impressive, fact-driven, detailed, and lengthy presentation gave us a blueprint for reopening the case and double-checking all of her assertions. There was no question. We were following her lead. She was leading the law enforcement reinvestigation. And we soon discovered that law enforcement had withheld evidence that supported lawyer Tucher's assertions. We conducted DNA tests on the evidence that she requested be preserved, and ultimately apprehended the real killer who she had identified, who was then living in Texas. That man ultimately confessed to involvement in the torture murder, and the man who framed Mr. Walker also admitted his lies. So after serving 12 years in prison as an innocent man, in June of 2003, Santa Clara County conceded that Mr. Walker had been wrongfully convicted. The court declared him factually and actually innocent. Mr. Walker's attorney let him down, the prosecutor let him down, and law enforcement let him down. A former deputy district attorney, Justice Alison Tucher, did not let him down. Tragically, Mr. Walker passed away this year. However, I am certain, beyond any doubt, he would join me today in recommending Justice Tucher to you because of her absolute integrity, her patience, leadership, and above all, her balanced approach to justice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Sununu Towery. I next invite Justice Terry Stewart to the podium.
Good morning, Chief Justice Ue, Presiding Justice Klein, and Attorney General Robert Bonta. Mr. Bonta, I am so pleased to see you in this role. I'm proud to say I knew you when you were a baby lawyer, and here you are. I have known Justice Alison Tucher for 7 years now, and mostly we've gotten to know each other from the saddles of our bicycles. Justice Tucher is a superb rider. I am not, but she rides with me anyway, and whenever I ask her why, she says, well, I like to ride and I like to talk. And indeed, we talk about about cases, about issues. And we did that first when she was serving on the Alameda Superior Court bench, and then later when she was pro temping for Division II of our court, and then more recently when she joined the court and are still doing it today. And I consider her one of my most trusted colleagues and friends, and I'm really honored to know her. And I know she is going to make a terrific presiding justice on our court. I think what Ms. Sununu Towery indicated tells you, or her story tells you, why Justice Tucher sees the big picture of the justice system and of the courts and the role they play in our democracy. And she's done work within the system as a lawyer. She's done work on the courts. She served in the family court bench and the trial court, the criminal court bench in Alameda County. But seeing the things that haven't worked up close and then making sure that she was part of the solution is very much what Justice Tucher is about. And I can't improve on the recitation of her innocence work, although I will say that she worked on two different people and resulted in both of them being exonerated. But she continues to do that work in her role as a justice, serving right now on a state bar committee that's designed to work on the justice gap, which is to make sure civil litigants who can't afford counsel have the support that they need to present their cases. So I think having that big picture is important for a PJ, and it will serve her well. She also is a people person, and a lot of the job of PJ is in dealing with people. And when she worked on our division, she was not only really respected and admired by her fellow justices, but she also was admired and liked and respected by the staff. And she actually reached out to judicial assistants, to the clerks, to the staff attorneys. She asked them questions. She listened to what they had to say. She's a people person, and she's able to make decisions, but she does it in a thoughtful way that people can accept. And I think there's one last story that I want to tell you about Justice Tucher. It's a short one. Oh, well, before I do that, related to her people skills, she has a superb intellect, and it's clear. She clerked for Justice Souter. She clerked for William Norris on the Ninth Circuit. She was an outstanding student, but she doesn't lead with her ego. And I think part of the reason she's able and will be able to work with the justices on the court, both those and the other PJs and the staff of her own division, is because she doesn't lead with her ego. She's humble enough to be able to, she never brags. She never talks about herself. It took me years to really understand the full panoply of her accomplishments. And she's a multitasker. I'm always asking her to write articles or to speak on panels, and she does it not only when I ask her, but when other people ask her, and she juggles all that, and I think she has one of the shortest case lists around. But the last thing I want to say, and you may not know this, is that when she was a lawyer, Justice Tucher raised two young kids who are now college students and a college grad, Maddie and Miles, and she supported in the ways that a spouse supports a fantastic trial lawyer husband. To do all that and practice law and do the innocence work she was doing at the same time, I don't know of what else speaks more about her capabilities. So I'm here to urge you to confirm this appointment, and I thank you for hearing me out.
Thank you, Justice Stewart. Next, we'll hear from the Jennie chair, Ms. Stella Nye.
Good morning, everyone. Madam Chief Justice, Attorney General Bonta, Presiding Justice Klein, I am honored to present this report on behalf of the Commission on Judicial Nominees Evaluation to summarize the basis of the Jennie Commission's rating of Justice Alison M. Tucher for the office of Presiding Justice of the Court of Appeal, First Appellate District, Division 3. The Jennie Commission conducted its evaluation of Justice Tucher on February 19, 2021, finding her to be exceptionally well qualified for service as presiding justice for the Court of Appeal, First Appellate District. According to Commission rules, the rating reflects the Commission's determination that Justice Tucher possesses qualities and attributes of remarkable or extraordinary superiority that enable her to perform the appellate judicial function with distinction. Justice Tucher was born and raised in Massachusetts. She attended Williams College, where she received a BA degree, majoring in economics in 1984. She enrolled at the University of Cambridge on a full scholarship, where she received dual BA and MA degrees in engineering in 1986. After graduating from the University of Cambridge, she returned to the United States to pursue a career in national security. Justice Tucher worked at System Planning Corporation as an arms control and national security analyst in connection with the company's contracts with various federal agencies, including the United States Department of Defense. She spent 3 years in this role before making a professional change to pursue a career in law. In 1992, Justice Tucher graduated from Stanford Law School. After graduating from law school, she clerked for Judge William A. Norris at the United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit in Los Angeles. She was the first woman to serve as a law clerk for Justice David Souter on the United States Supreme Court. She helped author significant opinions for Justice Souter relating to criminal law during her tenure with the Supreme Court. From 1994 to 1995, Justice Tucher was the Assistant Director for the White House Security Review Team within the United States Department of the Treasury. When the mission of the White House Security Review Team was completed, Justice Tucher moved back to California and took a job as a Deputy District Attorney with the Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office. After 3 years at the District Attorney's Office, she left for private practice at Morrison and Foerster, where she was quickly promoted to equity partner just a few years after joining the firm. Her work in private practice encompassed a wide variety of corporate disputes, including intellectual property, unfair competition, and antitrust. Justice Tucher maintained an extensive pro bono practice. Early on in her tenure at Morrison and Foerster, as we heard, she represented a man falsely convicted of murder in connection with various post-trial appellate matters. That work ultimately resulted in her client's exoneration and release. The case was one of the catalysts for the creation of the first Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office Conviction Integrity Unit, which re-examines the validity of prior convictions. Her successful work led to numerous requests from other incarcerated individuals seeking appellate representation, some of which she handled and some of which she referred to the Innocence Project. In 2014, Governor Brown appointed Justice Tucher to the Alameda County Superior Court. As a Superior Court judge, she had family law and criminal law assignments. In addition, she co-chaired the court's Juror Participation Community Outreach Committee and chaired its Education Committee. In November 2017, she began sitting pro tem on the First Appellate District. In August 2018, Governor Brown appointed Justice Tucher to the First Appellate District, Division 4. In addition to hearing appeals, she has immersed herself in various assignments relating to the improvement of the legal system. For example, Justice Tucher chairs a group focused on relaxing procedural rules that have traditionally served as impediments to justice for pro se litigants. Justice Tucher has taught workshops at Stanford Law School on trade secrets and trial advocacy, and has guest lectured at Santa Clara University School of Law, Stanford Law School, Golden Gate University School of Law, and McGeorge School of Law. She is widely published in various academic journals. Outside of work, Justice Tucher is active in her community through her children's activities and her church. Justice Tucher is highly praised for her intellectual rigor, work ethic, judicial temperament, preparedness, and collegiality. In particular, she is well regarded for her thoughtful and informed approach to analyzing, breaking down, and summarizing complex issues. Justice Tucher works to make the legal system more accessible for under-resourced litigants, reflecting her firm commitment to equal justice. Justice Tucher is a true asset to the bench and is sure to enjoy a distinguished career as presiding justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nye. I now invite Justice Tucher to the podium to make a statement, if you wish, and to answer any questions the Commission members may have.
Thank you. Chief Justice Kanti Osaka Uwe, Attorney General Bonta, Presiding Justice Klein. May it please the panel, I am both honored and humbled to appear before you this morning and to hear such nice things said by the various witnesses. If confirmed, I will aim to live up to their high praise. I will seek to follow the law and, where appropriate, to shape the law in ways that are both just and practical. I'll strive to be sensitive to every individual who has an interest in a case before me, and I'll strive to be useful to lawyers and judges whose later cases raise similar legal issues. In leading Division 3, I'll seek to foster an environment where each justice and every member of our staff does her or his best work. Together, we will serve justice and the people of California to the best of our abilities. And now, if you have questions, I will try to answer them.
Thank you, Justice Tucher. Any questions, General Bonta or Presiding Justice Klein?
I participated in the last confirmation of Justice Tucher, and Justice Tucher had served in my division, as you've heard, for quite a long time. I've been a judge of the Court of Appeal for more than 40 years, and during that period, I've had many pro tem judges sit with me, almost all of them Superior Court judges. But I have never had a pro tem who was as skilled, as analytical, as pleasant to work with as Justice Tucher. While she was there, we worked on many important cases. One of them was probably of great interest to the Attorney General. It was on the issue of bail, an opinion that held that the current bail system was unconstitutional. Justice Tucher was a great advisor to me in that opinion. I'd never participated in a bail proceeding when I was a trial judge, and she had. So I really was grateful for that. I was, as I said, I was present at her initial confirmation. I just want to point out that Mr. Walker did testify at that hearing. I'm sorry to hear that he is no longer alive. And that was one of the most remarkable testimonies I've heard in the many years that I've been on this commission. I don't think I have ever, I have never voted against a candidate for appointment to an appellate court, to the California Supreme Court or to any court of appeal. And I think that's largely arises from the fact that our system in California of selecting judges produces not ideologues, but it produces people who have done a great deal of public service and who are clearly fit. And I think Attorney General Becerra, who came from Washington and watched the judicial process, appointment process there, was a little shocked at how benign our process is. But I think it's really because the governors of this state, Republicans and Democrats, have employed a system that was instituted in 1975 when Jerry Brown was serving his first term, a merit system that did an awful lot of vetting and has produced consistently good candidates. I'm certainly not going to break my practice of voting for the confirmation of this nominee, who is one of the best that I have ever had the pleasure of working with. I don't have any further questions. I feel that I know her well enough. I've worked with her. I've read about her. I've argued with her. She's persuaded me most times we've had those arguments. And I look forward to serving with her as a presiding justice on our court.
Thank you, Presiding Justice Klein. Those words mean a lot from someone as experienced and knowledgeable as you are. Thank you. The commission is grateful. General Bonta?
Well, thank you for the opportunity to be here. And, I am very strongly in support of Justice Tucher. I've had the chance to have a number of interactions with her over the many years, including working on a case as a junior associate when I was at the Kecker and Van Ness firm, and she was at Morrison and Foerster. And I followed her career over the many years, and really just thankful that you're willing to serve your community and your state and to step up. We're lucky to have you, frankly, from my perspective. Someone of your skill set, your intellect, your values, your commitment to justice, your temperament, your leadership. It's all we could ever ask for. So, I'm in the same boat as Justice Klein here, just being very supportive and very thankful for your service. I am very interested in criminal justice issues, fixing those broken parts in our system. And just a question that you can answer any way you wish regarding the work that you did on exoneration and innocence. How has that affected your work as a judge and perhaps your view of our justice system?
I think the way it's affected my work as a judge, and this is especially helpful perhaps as an appellate judge, is to remember that we're an inherently human system, and it's inevitable that even when people of goodwill are doing their best, and especially when there's something short of that, but mistakes get made. And so each of us has an obligation to square our corners, not to cut corners, because the processes the procedures are there for a reason, to protect innocent people. And so I think it maybe adds a level of gravity or seriousness, and also humility in examining the criminal cases that come through.
Well, thank you for that. I think you're going to continue your great work and your standard of excellence in any role you have. And I think you're certainly going to be doing that as presiding justice. You have my full support, and as well as my respect and admiration.
Well, I appreciate that. And I want to join my colleague, Justice Stewart, in saying I'm really pleased to see you in your current role. Thank you.
Thank you.
While we haven't taken the formal vote yet, Justice Tucher, it is foregone, but I do want to make a statement and then a question based on your experience. We are interconnected here in California and nationally as well, based on our personal relationship. When I first became chief, Justice Klein was instrumental in helping me navigate some early waters of turmoil in the judiciary as counselor and sage. And many years ago, not too many years ago, I had the honor of swearing in General Bonta in my living room, because he and his mother and I are friends, good friends. His mother is an incredible Filipina activist who, to this day, has a commitment to freedom and justice. And my question to you, though, is, given all that you've seen and given what you know and how you continue to lecture and continue to write, as Justice Stewart had mentioned, what do you think is the greatest challenge to the judiciary today? There are several, I'm sure, so anyone that you see more often.
Yeah, no, I actually am very proud of the California judiciary. I think we're doing a good job. But the greatest challenge to the judiciary, I'm going to say that I see big challenges for the federal judiciary and the politicization of the federal judiciary. And that's the judiciary that's more in the minds of many newspaper readers, surely. And so one challenge for the California judiciary would be to avoid that particular problem. I think we're well placed to avoid it, and we've done a good job of avoiding it. But I think avoiding the politicization is a challenge. And I think there's a huge challenge in dealing with unrepresented litigants who don't know how to deal with the complexities of our justice system. And that challenge plays out most vividly in the superior courts, because many of those folks never make it to appeals. So the resources to assist unrepresented litigants as they try to figure out how to get their case through family court or other kinds of civil cases where they're not guaranteed a lawyer. I think I'd probably hold that up as one of the outstanding challenges to our judiciary.
Thank you. And we look forward to your assistance in those areas as well. I think Justice Klein referred to it as then Attorney General Becerra's surprise about how California operates when it appoints such really extraordinary, experienced lawyers into judges and justices. Thank you for that thoughtful response. This does complete the list of witnesses who were called to testify here today. And now for the formal vote. For the record, all members of the commission in favor of confirming Justice Alison Tucher for this position, please say aye.
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 Thank you. On this record and the correspondence received, the commission finds the Honorable Alison M. Tucher qualified to be the presiding justice of the Court of Appeal, First Appellate District, Division 3, and we confirm your appointment. Congratulations, Presiding Justice Tucher.
Thank you.
So the formal portion is adjourned. I will be administering the oath in a few moments at the bequest of Presiding Justice Tucher, and after the administration of the oath and the formal signatures will be handled and have been handled remotely, Presiding Justice Tucher will have an opportunity to address the audience. Justice Tucher, are you ready for the oath?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Alison M. Tucher,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The floor is yours.
Well, thank you. I am grateful for the opportunity to serve in this wonderful role, and I'd like to mention some specific thank yous. First of all, I'd like to thank Governor Newsom and those who advised him in nominating me. I'd like to thank the Commission on Judicial Appointments and their staff who put together this morning's hearing, and the volunteers at Jennie, both Commission Chair Nye and Patrick Hammond and his colleagues who led the vetting of my file. I'd like to thank Karen Sununu-Towery and Justice Terry Stewart for being my friends and collaborators in the law and for your kind words today. Thank you to Peter Siggins for his fine example leading Division 3, and to Justice Barbara Jones, whose retirement originally inspired me to apply for this job. I'd like to thank my Division 4 colleagues. You are sharp and experienced jurists, gifted writers, and have been fabulous colleagues. It's been a privilege to work with you and to learn from you for the past 3 years. To my new Division 3 colleagues and to court leadership, thank you for your efforts to ease my transition. I look very much forward to working with you. And then bringing it home to my chamber's staff, without the experienced and capable lawyering of Terry Helmer and Margaret Belak, and the terrific assistance of Heather Salazar, our chambers would not perform, and I would not be here today. Finally, to my family, to my husband, to my adult children, to my mother, my siblings, my in-laws, nieces, and nephews, I love you and I appreciate your support. Thank you. Back to you, Chief.
Thank you, Presiding Justice Tucher. Wish you the best. We know it will be wonderful. We will stand then in remote recess until the next hearing at 10:45. Thank you.